Hi, my name is Jess and welcome to my channel, Have a Book at This. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my top 10 favourite fictional couples of all time. I know it's been a while since I posted anything and I'm really sorry about that, but the last 2 weeks have been absolutely hectic with schoolwork and NaNoWriMo, but I'm back now and I'm really looking forward to doing this video. I've got 10 fictional couples here and I've ordered them, so 1 is like my most favourite of the favourites and 10 is my least favourite of the favourites. So let's just get on with the couple that comes in 10th place. And that couple is from the Lunar Chronicles by Melina Marchetta, Froy and Quintana. I don't have Froy of the Exiles here with me, so I've just got Finnegan here as a placeholder. Froy and Quintana are such an interesting and dynamic couple. For those of you who haven't read the series, Quintana has kind of multiple vaguely magical personalities about her and she's a really intimidating character to read about. And then you have Froy, who comes from a very dark past, who's definitely a very morally grey character, and you wouldn't expect him to have a great deal of patience when it comes to a character like Quintana, and he doesn't necessarily at first. But the dynamic they have together is so intense and it's so unusual and unexpected, and it grows in a really touching way. I just rooted for them through this entire series. If you haven't read this series, it's brilliant and it has so many amazing couples in it, but I had to just pick one, so I went with Froy and Quintana. In 9th place we have from Where She Went by Gail Forman, Mia and Adam. And notice how I say Where She Went, which is the second book in the duology. And for those of you who know, I've actually read If I Stay, but Where She Went to me is the better book by far. I found If I Stay a really sad story, but the story where I felt most emotionally attached to Mia and Adam was this one, because Gail Forman just has such a strong, heartbreaking voice when it comes to Adam, and his character felt so much more three-dimensional to me in this book. And I think what I really love about this couple is that in this book we get to see them work through a lot of grief and a lot of bitterness, whereas usually you don't see that as much with couples, especially in YA. But with this, you see them work through a lot of really tough times, and honestly I ended up crying more in this book than I actually did in If I Stay. I did cry at a teenage guitar player's heartbreak over some girl, so that speaks volumes about this character relationship, I think. In 8th place, we're turning to a classic novel now and going for a bit of a stereotypical couple here, but I had to because I love them, and that is Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth Bennet from Pride and Prejudice. They were the original love-hate relationship, and what I was really surprised about when I picked up this book was how much I rooted for them. They gave me that sort of like chilly feeling that only a really good book couple can give me, and I just wanted them to get together so bad. They both frustrated me, they were both wonderfully flawed, and when they came together it was just a mess of perfection. And I'm actually now watching the BBC adaptation with Colin Firth and it is so good. It's just reinforcing my love of the couple even more. In 7th place, quite a different couple from the last one, we have Sydney Sage and Adrian Ivashkov from the Bloodline series. I think what I love about this couple is the way that, despite the fact that they're so different as characters, they can really bring out the best in each other. You have Sydney, who is very uptight, very restricted, and then you have Adrian, who is not really uptight enough and is too unrestricted, and when they come together I feel like they really balance each other out in such a brilliant way. They had so many excellent moments through this series, and I really love them together. I rooted for them from beginning to end, not all the way to the end because I still haven't read the 6th book, but I mean to. But yeah, they're just a really great couple. They're so much fun to read about and I love them. In 6th place, 6th is a couple from a book that I don't actually own a physical copy of, so I'm just going to tell you about it, and they are Jane Eyre and Mr. Rochester from Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. What I love about this couple is that their love for each other like transcends everything. Oh, that sounds really weird. The sense that you get with both of these characters is that their love for each other goes past physicalities and past appearances. You just get the sense that they just look straight through each other and see what is like raw and human and beautiful about each other, and that is what they love about each other. And it's just so gorgeous to read about. I don't think that there are enough couples like that in today's literature that I read about that just have this intense love for each other's beings, and it's so wonderful to read about, and I love them, and they had to be on the list. In 5th place we have Eleanor Park from Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell. The reason that this couple holds such a special place in my heart is because out of all of the couples on this list, I think that they have what is the most realistic depiction of teenage love. And it's beautiful and it's tragic but also hopeful, and I think there's one point in the book where Park points out that he hasn't touched any more of Eleanor than like her face and her hands. I was shocked because Rainbow Rowell really knows how to write a very emotional hand-holding scene, and it was just, there was something really bittersweet about this story, and I loved the mood that the characters brought towards it and the unapologetic way that they just loved each other, and it was really beautiful to read. In 4th place we have Percy and Annabeth from the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. The bond between them is just so strong. It's a similar thing I think with Ron and Hermione, where you got to see them grow up with each other and you got to see their bickering, you got to see the way that they loved each other, which was so frustrating because you just wanted them to admit that they loved each other. And I think part of the reason I love this couple so much is because we got to follow the journey that they went on together, which just makes them so much more lovable because you see their relationship developing in a really touching way, so they had to be on the list. So now we are down to the top 3. And in 3rd place is Ron and Hermione from the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. Ron and Hermione, remind me, if you will, were the first couple that I ever fell in love with. Later, Percy and Annabeth, what's so touching about this is that you get to see their relationship grow and develop from when they're 11 to when they're 17, and it's just so unbelievably satisfying. And I know there's been so many debates saying Hermione or Harry and Hermione or Ron couldn't have emotionally fulfilled Hermione, but I find it hard to agree with that or to see it from that point, because I think that these characters just balance each other out so unbelievably well. And yeah, Ron might not be as emotionally mature as Hermione, but there's something really sweet and endearing about the way he is with her that I just love. Hermione forever, okay? And in 2nd place we have, from one of my favourite books of all time, Taylor Markham and Jonah Griggs from, ooh, that's going out of the camera shot, from Jellicoe Road by Melina Marchetta. This relationship is one intense teenage relationship, and that's kind of what I love about it. I mean, it's really dramatic, but it's dramatic in a way that doesn't make you roll your eyes. It's dramatic in a way that makes you want to sob and cry and pull your hair out. You really get the sense that Taylor and Jonah are the only ones for each other, and you really get the sense that they see and understand things about each other that nobody else does. And it's just really touching and emotional to read the journey to trusting each other that they take, because both of these characters suffer from some pretty intense trust issues throughout the course of this novel. And it's just so satisfying and heartwarming to see them sort of manage to find their way to each other, because what I love about Melina Marchetta's works, all of her works, is that she writes relationships so unbelievably well, just human, flawed relationships, and I feel like this is one of her best. Finally, in 1st place, we have, from the Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Clare, Tessa and Will. I was really debating about whether to put this in the first book because it's more of a love triangle than a couple, and for those of you who don't know, the hate that I have for love triangles is fierce. This is just so different because you just get the sense that all of the characters love each other and care about each other so much, and I switched so many times over the course of this series between thinking Tessa should end up with Will, Tessa should end up with Jem, and my heart is always going to be with Will Herondale because I think that he's probably Cassandra Clare's best and most flawed character. But what I loved was that I loved them all, that I cared about them all, that I wanted them all to find love and happiness. So I guess really they're my favourite book trio more than my favourite book couple. I just loved the love. I loved how they literally tore my heart out and stamped on it with their little fictional feet, because it's just so dramatic and emotional and angsty, but in the best possible way. So there you have it. I'm really sorry about how bad my lighting was through this entire video, but it's dark outside, so what can you do? Yeah, but those were my top 10 fictional couples. I know that pairings and ships are something that people feel really strongly about in fandom and in fiction. So if there are any couples that I haven't mentioned that you really love, leave a comment and let me know, because I would love to read about some more amazing fictional couples in the near future. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.